Welcome back to whatever the hell this is. I'm Swithbert, and this is Swithbert Suplex Society. Go! We start off the January 31st episode of Collision with Darby Allin versus Connors. This is Connors? It's Connors. Connors is the tag team partner of Gabe Kidd. So, in New Japan, apparently, I don't have much information on him. I could Google it, but the show just ended a few minutes ago, and I'm still excited. So, Darby came down, brought a skateboard, skating down the entry ramp, and then Clark Connors blindsided him from somewhere near the ring steps, I'm assuming, and took him down and started to just whoop ass on the outside of the ring. It was a very interesting opening to the show. No shade to it. It worked very well. I'm happy that we got to see Gabe Kidd's other half for the tag team that he's in. And apparently they're two-time New Japan tag champs, which is cool. I'm cool with that. Everything worked good. This was a very physical match, as they all are with Darby, because he throws his own body around, but now Connors was throwing his body around, and there was a lot of bodies being thrown around. So, it really was good. It was a hell of an opening to the show this week, and I liked every second of it. It was very ground and pound. They both had a little bit of high flying. Obviously, Darby is like super high flying and ridiculous. So anything past that, and I couldn't tell you what more they could do. I mean, they're, weapons, blood, sure, but unnecessary with how ridiculous this entire thing was. So I was a fan. Everything looked good. There was a moment where Darby went up to the top rope to try to do what I think was supposed to be a coffin drop, and Connors swept the leg, and Darby just pinballed all the way down to the floor. And then Connors grabbed the stairs and moved the stairs into the way, and he was going to try and suplex Darby, and Darby reversed that. And then they got onto the other side of the stairs, so they weren't facing, or they weren't in front of the actual stairs. They were around the back with the corner that goes into the corner at the ring post. And Connors was trying to Irish whip him into that side of the stairs, and Darby did a jump, tuck, and roll, and then turned around and came up the stairs and did a missile drop kick off the stairs. It was just a lot. There was a lot going on, and it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of that opening match. Darby pulled off the win with a Scorpion Deathlock, which was good, good solid end to the match. He started to cut a promo saying, "Oh, I'm done with the Death Riders," and then Gabe Kidd came out and started helping Connors, and the two of them beat the hell out of Darby, and then grabbed the stairs and put the stairs on top of Darby, and then Gabe Kidd climbed up the stairs and stood on top of the stairs and cut his own promo and was like, "You may be done with the Death Riders, but I'm not with the Death Riders. Realistically, I'm on Gabe Kidd time, and I'm not done with you until you're in the ground." So that's gonna be a lot to handle for the next, I'm not even sure how long, because if Gabe is going to just continually follow him, as he said, follow Darby and beat him up every chance he gets, that's just what we're going to have, and that's what we're going to get, and it's going to be full of blood and carnage, and I'm ready for it. Let's do this. Then we got a backstage promo from Jet Speed, and they were, basic Jet Speed stuff, like, "Oh, we're Jet Speed, we're awesome, we're part of the Trios tag team, or the Trios tag team champions with Paige, and the new name that they're going to go with apparently is Jet Set Rodeo," which, that's fine. It works. It's what they are. They are the Jet Set Rodeo. I don't have any ill will toward that. I don't hate the name. We'll run with that, and we'll just see what becomes of it as we go. After that, we got the Crew, Leo Rush and Action Andretti, taking on two members of the Rascals, and it it seems like we didn't get all 4. I thought we did. I thought we had all 4. I had names written down last week and everything, and it looks like we only get 3. So we get Xavier, we get Wentz, and we get Lee, I believe. I believe those are the 3 we have. So they came out, and it was a very fast-paced, very in-your-face match. Everybody was jumping around, everybody was flying, everybody was doing this, that, and the other, and reversals into a reversal. We did end up getting the Rascals with the win, which was good. I mean, it was a good first showing. Those guys have done really well all around everywhere that they've been. I'm happy that they're here now. They're involved in something else later, and we'll get to that, but it's good. It's good stuff. I still don't understand the ring attire or the entrance attire, technically, for the crew. They just look like the silliest marshmallow puff men of all time. And it's fine if that's what they're into. Cool. But I would never wear one of those jackets out in public. That's just me. Ignore me. Who am I? So it was a good match, though. Everybody was running around. Everybody got their licks in. I don't know what they call the finishing move, the Rascals. I mean, it was Wentz doing a backflip and Xavier pushing him so that the backflip turns into some kind of like attack and like a splash. And the 1, 2, 3, and the Rascals got the win, and that's fine and dandy. Everything's cool with that. So hopefully nothing but good things for the Rascals. And we'll see if they try to go after the trio titles or the tag team titles or whatever. I know that individually, like Xavier, when he was on NXT as Wes Lee, he had some singles titles under his belt. So I don't know if we're going to try to have the whole group do nothing but group things, or if we're going to have the group be more Death Rider-esque, where it's like, yes, they are one ball of intensity, but also each person can go and do their own thing and try to bring back whatever, whenever, however they can. We'll just have to wait and see. They've been on for a week, so plenty of time to figure everything out as we move forward. Then we had Orange Cassidy and Toni Storm taking on a tag team of people. I've heard of Lady Bird. We are familiar with Lady Bird. That was the female partner on the opposing team, but I don't know who Medina is. I can't recall if I've seen them on Dark or doing anything in other squash matches or whatever. I just, for whatever reason, I'm racking my brain and I cannot figure out who they were. Again, I could Google it. I don't want to. So it wasn't a full squash match. It was probably a 6-minute match. Medina and Lady Bird got some licks in. At one point, Lady Bird was going after Orange Cassidy and being like, how dare you, like, with your hands in your pockets and this, that, and the other. And then Cassidy threw out the kicks, and then he started to back up to do like the super kick that he does. And then he just kind of walked off, and Toni Storm came flying around the corner and got Lady Bird and took her down, and it was a whole kerfuffle. So it was a good match. It was totally fine. After Cassidy and Storm won the match, Wheeler Yuta came out, started beating the crap out of Orange Cassidy, and then Toni Storm pulled Yuta off, and then Shafir came out and started putting the beat down on Toni Storm, and then it turned into this really weird thing where Shafir was holding Cassidy in a lock, and Yuta was like, oh, time for an interview, haha, like, Orange, like, how could you spread such lies about me last week? And he put a microphone in Orange Cassidy's face, and he's like, I'm sorry, are you talking to me? I can't hear you over all that terrible hair. And that pissed Yuta off, so he hit him with the mic, started beating him up, and it just became this whole thing. Tony came back in, Yuta jumped out of the ring after a second, went over to the medical table, and grabbed a pair of scissors out of a bag, brought them back in, and was like, you want to see terrible hair? Like, here we go. And he was about to start cutting Orange Cassidy's hair when Toni Storm rolled back in, got rid of Shafir, went after Yuta, grabbed the scissors from Yuta's hand, and then went after Yuta's hair. Yuta rolled out, so then Yuta and Shafir were on the outside. Tony and Cassidy were on the inside, and Tony was just like, all right, you want to do this? Let's do this. Let's have a mixed tag match, hair versus hair. Whoever gets pinned has to shave their head. And Yuta started freaking out. Marina was looking at Yuta like, how the hell did you get us into this mess? I fucking hate you. And then Tony and Cassidy did a little dance, and that was the end of that. That was so. I'm curious to see I'm curious to see who's going to be bald, because this is kind of the year of the heel right now. So there is a chance that Yuta and Shafir pull off the win somehow, and then either Tony or Cassidy have to go bald. Between the two of them, I think it would be way funnier if Tony had to go bald. If we're looking at it the other way, I think it would be way funnier if Yuta had to go bald, just because I think Yuta bald with that beard would look so goofy that it would be worth it. The people already bag on him for being who and what he is, so I think bald bearded boy Yuta would be very funny. But if Toni Storm ended up bald, she'd just throw some wigs on, probably. I mean, she's a movie star. She's an actress. So everything that she does, she could just put on a new wig and be totally fine. Like, it would work for the character in a very odd way. But it would work, in my opinion. We went backstage again, and Eddie Kingston and Ortiz were in the back, and they were with Grizzled Young Veterans, and they were having a mouth-off, just going back and forth. And then Ortiz got booted by Big Bill, and then Big Bill and Brian Keith took out Kingston and Ortiz, and then Big Bill was standing over them, and he put his hand out, and James Drake was like, hey, I got you, and he pulled a wad of money out of his pocket, and he handed it to Big Bill and said, it's all there, big man, it's all there. And so Bill and Keith walked off, and this whole thing set up a parking lot brawl for next week, which is going to be insane, because it's Kingston and Ortiz, who are like, we grew up on the streets kind of guys, and then it's Grizzled Young Veterans, who are like, we don't get any respect and we're angry and we're going to take it out on everybody else. So that's going to be an interesting thing. We'll double back to that in a little bit. But up next, after that whole promo, we had Mark Briscoe versus Ciampa for the TNT title. And it was better than I expected, but not as good as I hoped for. It was a very, it was a great match. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong. It was just two men with history beating the crap out of each other, title on the line, and it was in the ring, it was out of the ring. There were punches and kicks and a little bit of flippy tricks and just overall so good. So good. It probably, for me, match of the night. Like, hands down, match of the night. We got all the way down, supposedly, and I'm huge quotey fingers here because I never time these things. They try to give us times on the show when things are happening. It allegedly came down to, like, the 19th minute of this 20-minute match. And if the time limit had run out, Briscoe would have been the champion still, because champion's advantage. However, at like 19 minutes and 30 seconds, and this is where I really expected the bell to ring, it was back and forth pseudo finishers, and then Ciampa hit the final move, and he pinned him, and I really expected the ref to be like 1, 2, and then like ding, 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 the bell goes off, 20 minutes is over, Briscoe is still the champion. But that didn't happen. We got a Ciampa 3. So, less than a week after being signed to this company and debuting, Ciampa is now the TNT title champion holder guy. And I was not expecting it. I was on the edge of my seat the entire match. And there was lots of love between the two guys because, like I said, they've known each other forever. And now the Psycho Killer gets the belt, and it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to all of it, and I'm curious if he's going to continue the open challenge or if he's going to pull like a no, I'm the champ now, I make the decisions, you got to earn it, and then you get to come after me, and it's fine. Fletcher did make an appearance at the very end and stood at the top of the ramp and was just like, oh, that's mine, that belongs to me, I don't care about Briscoe, you and me, I'm coming after that belt. Terrible accent, I know, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, I'm sorry, not sorry. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see where we go with this, with Ciampa being the new TNT champion. Long live the heels at this point. I truly believe 2026 is the year of the heels, and I'm here for it. We had another weird backstage Don Callis family thing where they were beating up whoever, the jobbers or whatever in a hallway in the back. Rocky Romero was there, and he was kind of screwing around, and then he told Josh Alexander, like, hey, I've got a ringside seat to Okada's match next, so I'm out of here. So he dipped. Josh was sitting on a chair over top of some jobber, and he was just kind of hitting him every now and then. And then the Murder Hawk Monster was like in the background fighting 3 dudes and demolishing them, and that's just what that was. So now Josh Alexander was like, yeah, Kyle Fletcher's coming back after the TNT title, but don't worry, we've got other things in mind. We've got other plans in the works. And I don't, fine. Start do it. Get it done. Just stop beating up random people in random hallways and just do whatever you're going to try and do. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Shush. I'm just dropping things now. So that was that. That immediately brought us into Okada versus Adam Priest for the international title. And it lasted a lot longer than I expected it to, because Adam Priest is an ROH guy. And apparently he's been doing super well in ROH. So they offered him a shot at Okada and the international title. And he took it. And he did this whole thing. And he's like a John Silver type of dude. He's kind of short, kind of stocky, full of power. And he held his own for, it was probably a 10-minute match, maybe 12 if we go back and really time it or whatever. But he did fine. Everything looked fine. He gave it to Okada a few times. Okada got the upper hand a few times. It was a fine match overall, showing off who Priest is, and that's just what we got, and I'm not mad at it. I think it worked just fine. So that was that. Okada ended up winning, no surprise, so he keeps his international title. And then we rolled into a new backstage promo with the Rascals, and Lexi was in the back, and she was like, you guys did really good. Congratulations on your first win. Welcome to the company. And they're all like, heck yeah, we're excited to be here. We hope to get all kinds of things done. Do you want to go out to the parking lot and have some medicine, quotey fingers? And Lexi was like, no, I'm good. Don't worry about me. And then Kingston walked into frame, and he didn't grab the mic, but Lexi was just like, oh, he's got something to say, and put the mic right up to his face. And he was like, hey, Grizzled Young Veterans, looks like you got friends. Looks like we got friends that have history with you. And they know about parking lots, and we know about parking lots, and you know about parking lots. And why don't you two bring your 2 friends, and we'll bring these guys, and we'll make it an 8-man, and he called it an 8-man tag parking lot brawl. There's no tagging. It's tornado rules. Everybody is going to be against everybody is going to be against everybody, and whoever gets the pin first is the winner. So it is now, instead of Kingston and Ortiz versus Grizzled Young Veterans, it's the Grizzled Young Veterans with Big Bill and the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, versus Kingston, Ortiz, and 2 of the Rascals. And that's going to be really crazy. And then that entire thing ended with Kingston going like, I need medicine, let's go out to the parking lot. And so everybody just kind of was like, yup, and they all turned and they walked out the back door of the arena to the parking lot. So just kind of left Lexi there going like, that was weird. And then they smashed straight into the intro to the main event, which was the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin. And it was for the women's titles, tag titles, and it was pretty good. I think they could have done a little more. I don't know if they had time restraints. They always end up running over on time on the show. Like, it's supposed to run for, like, me locally, it's like 6 to 8. But it always runs from 6 to, like, 8:15. So we always get a run over. And it ended up, Babes of Wrath got the win. They got to keep the titles. I'm really sad about that because I really want the Sisters of Sin, or just the Triangle of Madness as a whole, to start collecting gold. And so I don't know where to go from here. So Babes of Wrath got the victory. And then as soon as the match was over, Tekla came running down and started putting the beat down on the Babes of Wrath. And then Statlander came out and started to help, so it evened up the odds. And then Megan Bain and Penelope Ford came running out, and so then it was 5-on-3, and obviously those odds are terrible. So the Triangle Madness and then Bain and Ford had the upper hand, and that's just where the night ended. Fine. It was good. It was good. It got the point across. Everybody looked strong. In the match specifically, everybody looked strong. I really do think that we're sleeping on the Triangle of Madness a little bit. I think that they definitely could garner some gold, but I'm not going to complain too much about it, because I want to see more of what's happening with Bain and Ford and the Triangle, and what that, like, if that's going to create some kind of weird female super stable, or if they're just like enemy of your enemy is my friend type of deal. I'm very curious about how it's all going to play out. But I mean, Wednesday we've got MJF versus Brody King, so that's something to look forward to. And everything else is just going to fall into place, and we're going to follow the storylines, and we're all going to be happy. So, with that, I bid you adieu and a good night. I have to edit and upload this. I'm very tired, and I can't see because I don't have my eyeballs in, so I don't know what I'm looking at right now. But be good to yourselves, be good to others. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you Wednesday. Peace.